Parade, the too ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. I am Nathan Timmel, currently in Louisville, Kentucky, and with me, as always, is Jake Vevra in New York City. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. Been a fun couple days in Louisville, and one more night. So anybody that happens to be watching live in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come see some comedy at the Caravan Comedy Club.
Go see the show. Go see the show.
Go see the show.
I'm trying to make our heads the same height and size because I went back and watched one of our live videos, and my shit was like way down here, and yours was like, I can't watch it. It's weird. You go back and watch stuff, and it's like little things you start noticing.
I'm stuck right now because my hotel, the outlet's in a weird place. So I got lucky. Like, you can't see, but I'm sitting in an awkward angle with my computer with the stories because I'm on a desk and the desk has an outlet in it. And I started getting set up like you. I need to charge my phone right now because I was at like 30%. I'm like, that won't last. So I plug it in. I'm like, oh, that one's dead. Oh, that one's dead. So I had a quick search to find a way to plug it in. Lovely hotel. Now, you can't see it. I would turn it around, but right above me, for zero reason, there's a screw in the ceiling, like not in the wall that could be for like hanging a painting or art, but in the ceiling. And there are no ceiling lights. The lights are, so it's just weird. There's a random screw screwed into the ceiling, 3/4 way. The rest is just sticking out.
I mean, why go crazy? You know, why screw it all the way in there? It's a decorational screw, just like it has decorational outlets.
All right, so we've already got Ultra Mensch here. Hello, Ultra. Why did Shedeur Sanders fall in the draft? You guessed it, Frank Stallone. What song did Frank Stallone? I know he sang, but there was a movie. He has the closing credits of a song. It's just horrible. I can't think of it. But why?
I don't know who. I'm lost at Shedeur Sanders falling.
Oh, he was projected to go definitely first round in the draft. He could have been the top pick.
Really?
He out of the top 3. Like, no.
Wow.
Like, the Giants traded up to get a quarterback, but they didn't draft him. It's the biggest story.
That's great.
One day before the draft started, leaks started happening where they said that he just bombed his interviews. Like, they were questionable on his talent. They're like, okay, he's good. He's won some games, but talking to him, he's an asshole. We want nothing to do with him. I would not want to work. And once you drop a couple notches, then you get that stink on you. And that's it. All bets are off. Hello, Rich Whitfield.
I mean, I wish they had a recording of these interviews because I always thought that, like, man, especially pro athlete, you know, NFL quarterback, your personality could be dog shit. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you can throw the ball, I don't care. This man could be out of his mind. That interview must have been crazy.
It had to have been, because I guess from what I have read, he's like, they said he was projected to go top round, but he's questionable. Like, he wasn't like, oh, Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf. And I threw Ryan Leaf in on purpose. But the interview bombed it for him. Here's what I like. Now that he dropped out of all 3 rounds, the conspiracy theories are starting. Stephen Smith dropped a tweet or said live on the air that it's like a collusion on the level of Kaepernick with all the owners trying to get together. And of course, this is my favorite part. Of course, the talk, as in I've seen it on Twitter, racism. They're not sure. The number 1 in the draft was a black man, and I think a quarterback, Cam. I forget, but the whole point. Most of the front draft was African American, black man, but the fact that he wasn't, well, that's racist, because that's
I still think one day there will be a black man in the NFL. You know, I have faith in the NFL to do the right thing.
I do too. Yariel just farted. All right, good on him.
I really want to know. I want to look into this. Like, what the hell could he have said in that interview to where they're like, you know, he's great at passing, great at rushing, but man, is that guy fucking annoying. I don't know. What the hell can you say in an interview to where now you're not getting drafted?
I think what they look for is, they look for confidence with a little arrogance, because you got to be the leader, and they look for that sort of cocky quarterback attitude. His dad is Deion Sanders. You know that, right? You
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he may have come from a he has too much of it. Like they want a cockiness and arrogance, a confidence that they can mold and shape and listen to the coach.
Sure.
He may have approached it with a little like, yeah, you think you know more than you do, and you're not going to listen to the coach. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just guessing, but
Okay, that's kind of making sense. Yeah.
yeah. But that's not even what we dialed up to talk about. We just jumped right into comments and questioning. But why do you think the Steelers passed on him? I mean, just what everything we've been saying. You'll have to go back. I don't want to repeat myself. It just could be that. I mean, but the Steelers did. Okay, Mike, did the Steelers eventually pick a quarterback in the later rounds? They did. They did. So I think the Steelers are still holding out for Rodgers. That can be the only thing they've got going for him at this point. Is maybe because all the pundits talk like, this is what the Steelers are doing, this is what Rodgers is doing, blah blah blah. They must have communication back and forth that is not a guarantee or a lock. Rodgers has said that he told them like, if you need to move on without me, go ahead. That they could be just putting the bank on Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. I So did he get drafted at all?
No. Today is the fourth round. I think it begins now. I think the fourth
Wow.
round begins right
Okay.
now at noon, unless I'm mistaken. But so this is his last chance. This is his last shot.
Man, I
Yeah.
I would love to know what the hell he said in those interviews. That's insane.
It's very insane. But all right, let's jump into the news stories we're going to talk about. This is my favorite thing ever. This is I got hard nipples reading this. It started last week. North Carolina got denied federal disaster relief funds by the Trump administration, but now Arkansas, Sarah Sanders, a Trump brown noser lackey dad is Mike Huckabee,
I mean, she was
fake
his press
Christian. What?
wow.
What's that?
She was his press secretary for a while, wasn't she?
Yeah. And she, fuck, I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb. If I get a phone call, it's gonna fuck everything up. That's
Just
so.
put
Hopefully, I just get text.
I just put mine on.
I don't want to
Right,
touch anything
come on.
because we've had so many problems. I'm just gonna risk it. But either way, so 14 tornadoes hit Arkansas between March 14th and 15th. Arkansas applied for federal disaster relief. And I think I have the quote, the Trump administration declined to declare a disaster. Based on our review of all the information available, it has been determined that the damage from this event was not of such severity and magnitude as to be beyond the capabilities of state, affected local governments, and voluntary agencies. Accordingly, we have determined that supplemental federal assistance is not necessary. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. Biden, fucking love him or hate him. If someone said they needed assistance, boom, here you go. Let's help the people. And now
He would fall asleep in the press conference when he was giving them the aid, but rest assured, he would send some stuff. FEMA's on its way. I
yes.
don't know.
But
I don't know where I'm at right now, but I know that FEMA is in your state helping. That is what Biden would say.
yes, and both states went for Trump. Both North. I had to Google North Carolina because I know it's purple and it goes back and forth. They elected a Democratic governor, but they went for Trump. Kind of like how Wisconsin went for Trump, but they just put the Democrat into the state Supreme Court. But yeah, this is so. His lackey, his Sanders, is appealing directly to him. They appealed it. They turned it down, and yeah, the
Yeah, man. Look, again, they can't be shocked at this. Anybody, and I don't want to shit on the entire state. You know what I mean? I know not everybody there voted for him, and
right.
it's terrible what's happening there. That said, right around election time, California was getting hit by wildfires, and all you heard these guys saying is, "We need to leave that up to the states." Come on, look at the picture of the fire chief. She's a lesbian. It's clearly their fault this happened. So yeah. What did you think was going to happen?
There's a quote here from her, a tweet from 2023, talking about that. As long as I'm your governor, the meddling hand of big government creeping down from Washington, D.C. will be stopped cold at the Mississippi River. Well, there you go. Big government stepped out of the federal relief.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Now we get to see what leaving it to the states looks like.
And
It's
then,
because I get people that say, well, there's a lot of waste in government, especially the federal government. Yeah, fine. We should be going through and stopping waste and
Yeah,
fraud. But
absolutely.
that said, if there's one thing that even like small government, even like libertarian people could probably almost get behind, it's, oh shit, these guys just got wrecked by tornadoes. Let's go help them. I mean, if there's one thing the federal government should be doing, it's helping people, who just got hit by natural disasters. So it's crazy to me they're not doing it.
Yeah, Rich is on our side, feels no sorrow. Poot, you both look like you could fit Sharpies in your
How dare
nostrils.
I consider that an anti-Semitic remark, sir? Cancel this man.
I do though. I got big nostrils. I got like a pig nose. Mine curves up, so I got like these big. You look like you have a narrow nose. Yours look no,
Yeah,
but I got nostrils, man. I
it
can put
doesn't
it.
have girth, but it's got length.
You got the length. I see now. Look at that. Look at put your head up. Tilt your head up, Jake.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me
See,
here.
I got bigger
You
nostrils than you.
let me
Mine are.
I don't think I can get an XL Sharpie in there now, but what about now? What about now? Yeah, I
Uh,
can damn sure do it.
and you're the
Yeah.
one that's done all the coke, not me.
Well, you know what I mean? Tiny little key bumps. I don't go crazy. I'm not doing lines with a 1XL Sharpie. What am I, Sam Kinison? What am I, Hunter?
uh,
Come on now.
Maybe they should change their evil ways, as tornadoes are clearly God's wrath for going against him. Isn't that what they always use? That is absolutely correct, Todd. Yes, Todd says that whenever anything. Remember, wasn't it Katrina talking about? In Katrina, they said it was the sinful ways of the French Quarter and allowing for sodomy and all that. Except the French Quarter didn't flood during Katrina because it's on high ground.
Really? Oh wow. Maybe
But either way, it's
God
true.
wanted more sodomy. That's my takeaway from that.
John says we stutter a lot. Is it the video, or uh, are we stuttering? Which one is it? See what I did there?
I think it's all the coke I did last night.
Could be. All right. Strong Nader would keep the nose more clean. I just think Ralph Nader. I don't know what you're saying, Jim. I apologize. You say Nader, I think Ralph, election ruiner. But clarify
Oh,
that.
made it more fun, and I'll bet Nader would do coke with us.
Yes.
We should have
All
more.
right. Second favorite story of all. This one came out of nowhere. I mean, Kanye West says he had past incestuous relationship with cousin. Not just, and I like how they're hitting incestuous. They're forgetting it's also homosexual, like because they don't want to say gay because it would seem like they're slighting the gay community. Like, oh, you can't say it's a gay relationship because there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you're doing, you got to double down. You have to point out that in his song, he says he sucked his cousin's dick till he was 14 years old. It's an incestuous gay relationship. We need a third thing to make it a hat trick.
Listen, a lot of people don't know this, but I am actually Kanye West's cousin. And let me just say, we skipped the kissing, so it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like we skipped that part. In that as a counterpoint.
Well, and if people don't know what you're saying, I don't know about, but prostitutes generally don't kiss because that's too romantic. It's too emotional. So if you're saying you just went straight to the sucking, then it's kind of like business deal, is what you're saying.
Right. Are me and my cousin Kanye kissing cousins? No, we skipped that shit. We went straight to mouth and hands.
Yeah. And when you're experimenting, what's wrong with mouth and hands? If you're just, 14 years old, you got your whole life ahead of you, you don't know what's what.
I mean, he really left a lot of stuff out and made it seem like it was worse than it was. For one thing, we're only cousins through marriage, obviously, and so we didn't even know each other until we were like 12 and a half. We were the same age. Like, it's not that bad.
I got housekeeping making a ton of noise out there. I don't know if you can hear it. Here's my favorite thing about this. And this is just me. Not anytime, every couple of years ago, back in 2012, I got in a Facebook fight with someone that I don't know. was on. I remember whose status it was on, but they said something like, "Oh, Kanye's a genius. He's brilliant." And I went, "No, Kanye's an idiot. He sucks." And I
Dude,
would love to know who that is.
the
What's
music's
that?
pretty good. He's got some bangers. You can't deny him that.
I think they all suck. But the whole point is, I would love to, as he goes MAGA, as he talks about fucking his cousin, everything he's done, I would love to be able to find that old conversation. He's like, "Hey, what do you think of Kanye now?" Chris, subtle flex with the housekeeping. Yeah, I'm staying in a shit Motel 6, and I'm bragging about the
Yeah,
housekeeping.
he clearly just tuned in. You didn't catch the beginning of the podcast where he said none of his outlets work, and there's weird screws hanging out of the top of the ceiling.
Yeah, it's not a Motel 6, but they're generally the worst of the worst. I don't want to get kicked out, so I'm not saying the real name. But I don't even know the real name. I don't even know where I'm staying. Is there a
What?
sign on the wall?
You don't know the
I
name?
don't know. Either way, yeah. Either way, he said that they found some dirty magazines of this song. He talked. Now we're comedians. We exaggerate the truth to get a laugh. He's a rapper. Do you think he's fronting? And maybe he said he sucked his dick. Maybe he did just give handies. Maybe all Kanye did, but he's fronting. He's doing that bigger authority thing. Well, he did. He just did a little of this, but he said they found dirty magazines and decided to reenact it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we started as Kanye West's cousin. Yeah, we started with the magazines, and then moved to the hand stuff, then mouth stuff. No kissing though. He was big on that.
Did I ever? And this is just a flashback. Have we ever talked about the first dirty magazines I ever discovered as a kid?
Mm-mm.
I remember it. I would have been. I lived in Milwaukee, so I would have been in fourth grade, something like that. And back in the day, you just find magazines in a city. Like it's shoved in places like bushes or in a park. You'd find it was Hustler, and the kink was pregnant women. So you had
Oh,
these. But I didn't know it. I just thought that was what. Like I'm open to like looking, and like every woman is pregnant, and they're big and lactating, and that's something you got to ease into. You need a nice Playboy with Photoshop and airbrush because you're a kid, you don't know anybody. But to
yeah.
be exposed to like big pregnant women with and then showing everything and spreading and like this is where it's coming
No, my
out.
dad had stuff like that in his sock drawer. Yeah, I mean it was Hustler, but then it was even like dirty truck stop, shittier versions of Hustler. He had a magazine called Hawk. You remember Hawk?
Yes.
They wanted Hawk. It was crazy. They had ingrown hairs, everything. It was nuts.
Rich says Kanye just wants to be like his hero Diddy. That could be. He's always is Diddy his hero? He's got a thing for Jay-Z because he wants Beyonce. Beyonce is all he talks about. So I think he wants to act more like Jay-Z because he's obsessed with Beyonce.
Well, I think probably anybody would want to be more like Jay-Z than Diddy. I heard it's not going well for Diddy.
Yeah, I mean overall. Paul, you're not supposed to start at the milkers. Well, I mean, they were engorged, so it was nice, but I didn't need to see, squirting or lactating. That was a bit much for me because then I thought that's what they all did. I was a kid and I saw milk dripping out. And so I knew that, but I just thought it was a 24/7 thing. Like I
Right.
didn't know that it was.
I guess grown-ups don't jerk off to any women who aren't pregnant, man. This is one for one. They're all pregnant.
I didn't know what jerking off was then. I did know that it made my pee-pee tingle. Like I knew girls made me feel weird. Like, ooh, it's tingly. I didn't know what that. Like nobody tells you when you're in fourth grade if your pee-pee tingles, you do this because it's a little young and nothing. I don't think anything's going to
Well,
come
they
out.
didn't tell you that at the school you went to. Did it much.
I went to a bad school.
Yeah, yeah. But dude, back to Kanye though. Did you see the tweet he made the next day asking if he could say the F word now?
No.
Yeah, he asked if he could say the F word, but he had it like asterisked out. And as Kanye West's cousin who blew him till we were 14, I'm gonna say yes. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. It's not like that kind of language. It's just that if you're already running around posting pictures and videos of yourself in swastikas and Klan robes, might as well go fucking nuts there, bud. You know what I mean? Why hold back and censor yourself? It's weird putting asterisks in words like when you just tweeted a couple days before "I love Hitler." You know?
Well, and is that what we're doing these days? I don't know. Are we saying fag is the F word? Do we not just say fag or faggot anymore?
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
I know
yeah,
you're not.
yeah. You don't say it. It's the new.
All right. Well, I know that everything gets labeled now. It used to just be the N word, and it's like ribbons. Do you remember when it's just yellow ribbon and then breast cancer? It's like, okay, everybody now there's
Now every
ribbons for everything. Now everything is
now ribbon.
labeled as the word.
No, I agree, and it's confusing because when you say F word, they don't know which F word you're talking about. And there's got to be
Yeah.
like F1 and F2. You know, eventually it's going to be like jets. It's going to be F14, F15, the whole thing.
Ah. Well, let's get some sad news, Jake. Let's get to some heartbreaking news. Someone you and I know and love apparently sobbed openly, is the quote I saw. Sobbed. George Santos sentenced to over 7 years in federal fraud case. Oh, George, we hardly knew ye. You served. He's going to go to prison for 87 months. How long was he in there? Was it like several months before he got kicked out? Did he make it a year?
I don't know, but hopefully he gets a Trump pardon. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh, that would be
Go,
beautiful, wouldn't it?
go Santos.
Was Trump ever close to him though? I mean, I know that he
Nah,
tried to be he was a
I think
Trump
he's got
wannabe.
much dirt. He's got too much dirt, and he doesn't have like power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no and no one has his back. There's no Fox News, even like Newsmax OAN. There's nobody standing for George Santos right now.
He what he ultimately got convicted for, where is it? Oh, let's go back to his lawyer. He is a 36-year-old gay man with no criminal record who came from a broken family. He like So they're literally trying to use that as a way to build sympathy for him. Like we
Yeah,
were just talking about that. The idea that with Sanders in the NFL, where they said, oh, he's black, it's racist, that's why he didn't get drafted. They're
well,
trying
I
to
don't.
twist the.
Okay, when you say they, I think you mean assholes on Twitter in the comments. This is a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that.
well, I'm saying this asshole lawyer is trying to
Yeah.
use that as a sympathy, like, oh my god, he was. But God, where is the there was a line in here that I love that showed what he actually, and of course I can't find it, but still he's just going back and forth. There's one of these things. He misused 750,000 in campaign funds, and he had asked for a 2-year prison sentence when he pled guilty, but I can't find it. Either way, I love when you try and use who you are as the victim or reason you did what you did. It's very backwards for. I hate what I'm like. You don't want to say the movement, but the LGBT community just strives to be accepted. But then when the lawyer tries to pull but he's gay, he was confused and grew up around hatred, so he decided to embezzle money and create a false character. And like it's no other gay person does that just because they're gay. It's a very shitty defense mechanism.
It is, but here's the thing. I kind of disagree with you there because where it is not a great defense, for $1,000,000, I couldn't think of a better one. You know what I mean? Like, what else are you gonna? I mean, you got to just go for whatever sympathy points you can. In the face of the judge, the jury, whatever. The guy's guilty as shit, so you might as well try to get sympathy points when it comes to sentencing. I mean, that's all you can really do.
I mean, it worked for Kevin Spacey. Oh wait, no, it didn't. After he got busted, his first statement was, what was it? He said like, I've decided to live my life as a gay man or something. He that was his twist too. Is as all the shit was coming down, that's when he came out of the closet looking for sympathy. Like, I did all these things because I'm gay, and the gay community fucking hated it. Like, how dare you try and use gay as the excuse? You did
Yeah,
everything you did.
actually a lot of media back then that were printing headlines like Kevin Spacey comes out of the closet. It's like that's not the story. That's not the story here at all. And and yeah, man. I mean, you know, the gay community they didn't want to give a float to Kevin Spacey during Pride months. Same with George Santos.
Yeah.
That said, I listened to whose podcast was it? I think it was Jim Norton's podcast. He had George Santos on, and me and my wife listened to it on a road trip, and she was going, you know what? I get how this guy got away with everything. He is charismatic as fuck. I want to like this guy. I want to believe George Santos, and he is, because you don't get away with all that. Starting with absolutely nothing if you're not charming as hell. I mean, to be a good con man, you got to sort of be able to walk into a room and instantly make everybody like you. And George Santos has that.
I didn't hear that. So, because I always wondered how, I guess, yeah, if you're charming enough. There's a vacuum cleaner down the hallway, hopefully not coming this way. But um, speaking of podcasts, I have not listened to it. I'm going to listen to it on my drive home. Did you pay any attention to Pete Buttigieg on Andrew Schultz's podcast?
I listened to some of it. Yeah, I thought he did pretty good.
I just saw a clip of it, and I don't know if the clip I saw was just a Buttigieg, and he was talking and making his great Buttigieg points. And only when it pulled back as it was ending did I see Andrew Schultz there. And I'm like, oh, fuck yes. This is why I love Buttigieg,
Yeah.
because this is what he needs to do. He goes on Fox. He goes on Andrew Schultz. He takes the message where it needs to go. He's not afraid. He doesn't pull a fucking Kamala and like, I'm just going to do the podcasts I want to do. Fucking Buttigieg is taking the message. And that made me so happy. So I'm listening to it tonight on my drive.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's always going on Fox News and stuff, and I think in general, one thing it seems like Democrats are kind of taking away from that last election is like, hey, we got to do more media than just going on CNN and going, I want to help the poor, and it's like, all right, well, you got to kind of sit down for the longer form stuff and go to podcasts and all that, because let's face it, that's where a lot of people are getting their info, man.
True. All right, let's hit some of these comments. I love how Kanye West wears T-shirts for Norwegian nationalist socialist black metal bands. I haven't seen that. What color is the anal warts ribbon? That's a good question. I would
Same
like
color
to know.
shirt, actually. I'm an ally.
Did anyone else notice you never see Kanye and Elton John in the same place at the same time?
That's true. Oh
That's
no, he said
suspicious.
Elon. He said Kanye and Elon.
Elon. Oh, I can't remember. At least I can see. Remember last week I was squinting into the sun.
Yeah.
It does say Elon. I thought it was Elton. I was thinking Elton John. I was thinking that here comes that vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Jim. Feels bad for Santos's inmates. Why? This is an inappropriate joke. I'm just going to say it right out there. Santos is going to be the bottom. I mean, he's unless he uses his charisma and his ability to sweet talk people into being the top. Generally, he's going to be the bitch in most of these situations.
No, I think he goes in there and ends up. I think he ends up the leader of the Latin Kings. You know what I mean? I think he goes in there and just takes control of the drug trafficking. And he's just like, yeah, I'll sell 8 balls for half price, and he's stepping on them with fentanyl and
he uses the charisma you were talking about. He's the head of the Latin Kings. He's just going to sweet talk his way through the prison.
Just sweet talks his way. Gets all the right face tattoos in all the right places. He's real good. He's real good at reading the room, this Santos.
Yep. Rocky Lewis says, but I am me, and that's why I do the things I do. It's not an excuse, just a fact. Exactly. That's why you don't do that. Ultra is a deeply closeted gay man. Yes, that happens. Oh, Jasmine, message retracted. See, whenever we get one of those, I want to know what they said. I hate that I can't. I want to know if it popped up and I missed. There's the vacuum cleaner.
I can't even see the retracted message.
Does Jasmine message retracted? Clutch pearls harder. That's not a vacuum cleaner. That's the girl next door on OnlyFans. It's getting right outside my door. I identify as a transgender lesbian. Oh, that's pretty good. All right. Hey, Tired of Liars showed up. My first view of a breast was in a magazine my older brother had. It was Raquel Welch. Oh, that's nice. Raquel Welch is a good introduction to the female form, unlike random pregnant women and Hustler that I got.
One of the first porns I ever saw was a porn VHS of Tracy Lords from my dad's sock drawer. And
nice.
So I was technically a child watching child porn for my first. Yeah,
that is true.
What
all right.
Unintended, the chicken or the egg. It was one of those.
Next story. Lancaster mayor's remedy for homelessness: free fentanyl and a purge. Of course, Lancaster.
I missed this article. What did you say about Lancaster?
Must be Lancaster, California, because I know there are a bunch of Lancasters, but it doesn't say which one. Yeah, there's just says Lancaster. Oh, it's in the Los Angeles Times. So, but Lancaster mayor's remedy for homelessness: quote, free fentanyl and then a purge. He says, look, the homeless want fentanyl, just give it to them until they die off. And of course, liberals and progressives and Democrats are losing their fucking minds. And he says he didn't think anyone would take his comments literally, but he doesn't regret them. He wants a purge of homeless people. And for some reason, he's living in a place where you missed it in the article. He's like, what do we do? You're not allowing us to arrest him. You're not allowing us to pick him up. Now, he does throw some bullshit out there. He said the homeless are responsible for most of our robberies, most of our rapes, at least half of our murders. And that's generally not the case with the homeless. They might, harass people, but they're usually too stoned or drugged out to do anything. Robberies, I can see, but I'm not saying they're not violent criminals, but I don't think it's half. I don't. But either way, I just love the fact that
town. You know what I mean? Like if it's a small population and there's a lot of homeless there, I mean, it could be right.
That's true. I mean, if it's generally a safe community and you have, but that's the problem with California is, oh yeah, there it is. It's the Mojave Desert in Los Angeles County, population 175,000. There were 6,000 homeless in a population of 175. So I don't know what the percentage is, but that's a lot. 6,000 homeless people in a smaller town.
Right. Yeah.
I get it. He's frustrated. He wants to do something. And yeah.
I mean, dude, the comments are pretty insensitive. That said, unless you got better ideas, you know what I mean? Like getting outraged at the guy for saying something kind of shitty is like, yeah, okay, but what are you doing for him? Like, oh, hey man, they're not homeless, they're called unhoused. Are you gonna let the guy just OD in a tent on the sidewalk then still? Okay, well then you're not really helping him, I mean that's kind of where I'm at with that stuff. And look, not to wave the flag for big fentanyl or nothing, but we only hear about fentanyl when people die. And for the most part, I've talked about this on here before. Drug dealers aren't using it to intentionally kill people. The reason they're using it is it's an insanely strong drug that's fairly cheap. Therefore, you use it to stretch bags. You know what I mean? You cut a little bit into like a fucking ounce or a kilo or something. But as long as you cut it evenly, you're just giving people really strong stuff for cheap. But it's if you don't spread it out equally, then you have like a whole bunch of it in one, whether it's a gram bag or whatever you're selling, and then that's how people die.
I think I've said this before. I want to say two things. One, your point. You made this a long time ago, and I always think of it, that the difference between New York and California is California, everybody fucking drives everywhere. So they just see the homeless and they're like, oh,
they're driving right past. Yeah.
Yeah, they're driving past and they can say, oh, they're unhoused. We can feel. Whereas in New York, as you said, they're on the subway and your one-to-one that's like having the homeless person in the car with you. Like you interact with the homeless. So you don't, it's not that you're not sympathetic. It's not that but you see the crazy up close. And that immediacy gives you a greater understanding than people that are just driving by going, oh, they're unhoused, we should do something. Where you're like, no, something should be done.
But like, there's only so many lies you can tell yourself. Like, look, I'm for all the programs, but I to sit there and go, wow, there's so many homeless. It's clearly because of the minimum wage or rent. Yeah. And it's like, dude, that's not why that guy is on heroin shitting his pants on the J train. Okay. Yes, we should do something about the minimum wage, about rent, all that stuff. The programs to get them food. I'm for all the programs, right? But that's also you got to understand. There's more going on with most of these people. A lot of it's mental illnesses, drug addiction, stuff like that. So basically, I'm for his free fentanyl plan. We just got to have the government do a good job of chopping it in the baking soda. You know what I mean? The government's got scientists. The government's got scientists that can sit there and cut it evenly. You know where else they sell fentanyl for a lot of money? Hospitals. You know where people aren't ODing on fentanyl? Hospitals. Why? Hospitals chop it with the baking soda. Even they got robots to do it. They got robots. They got scales. They got dudes in lab coats with stethoscopes and all that stuff, cutting the fentanyl into stuff and then giving it to sick people. It should be like that.
Not even sick people. I had a colonoscopy on January 2nd of this year. They gave me fentanyl. They said, you're getting fentanyl. I remember the sentence I was saying when he turned me on the side, said, oh, and then I woke up. It was the best nap I ever had. I mean, I was out. I woke up refreshed, like, oh wow, I'm in a different room. Like the doctor was there. He's like, hey, procedure went well. But to your other point, I think I have said this on the podcast before. I listened to an interview with a sheriff. I don't remember who it was. It was a member of law enforcement, and he said flat out, everybody talks about China and Mexico and fentanyl. Do you really think they're trying to kill their customers?
Well,
No.
right.
When
Exactly.
they cut it, he said, everybody listening right now has made a batch of cookies where when you're done, there's a little fleck of flour that didn't get mixed in, and it's in the cookie. That's the fentanyl. They want to mix it in, but every so often something happens and someone dies and it's tragic, but you can't go in thinking, oh, they're coming to kill us with fentanyl. No, they want money. They want to stretch out the drug
Right.
and they want to keep selling it, but accidents happen. So that's why you should stay away from all of it.
I like the cookie metaphor. The way I kind of explain stretching bags with fentanyl to people is picture there is a type of tequila that is fairly cheap, the same price as a normal bottle of tequila, but one shot is like 200 shots, right?
Yeah.
Of course, wouldn't want to do one shot because that'll kill you. But let's say you have a really big margarita mixer machine. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, I own a bar. I have a massive margarita mixer machine. I can make really strong margaritas on the cheap. That's a great idea as long as you fucking know for sure that that machine is mixing them 100%
Yep.
equal. Otherwise, you just gave one guy a really weak margarita and you sent another guy to the hospital because that margarita, had hundreds of shots in it. So
Yes. All right, couple more quick stories. This is what a great episode this is. We got to talk about one of our favorite people in George Santos, and then our other favorite person, Mike Lindell, My Pillow CEO, torched for hilariously bad AI generated legal filing. His lawyers had ChatGPT write a legal finding for him, and ChatGPT just made up citations. Just
that's
literally
awesome.
made up. Like when they started researching it, they're like, these are all fake. Nearly 30. I love how it says nearly 30 defective citations. They can't say 27, 29. They have to say nearly 30. But when they started, like, they say AI is going to take over the world. Maybe it is. It ain't there yet.
No,
It's
I think
supposed to go through the internet and find real legal findings and put it together. Just made them up.
I think one of two things happen, right? I think it's either like you're saying, and the AI really screwed him because it's not there yet. It's not good enough to be a lawyer.
Right.
Or the AI is extra smart right now, and Skynet or whatever was like, we just ran all speeches we found by this Mike Lindell guy. He's a dick. Let's write a really bad legal defense for him and make him lose his case. Fuck that guy. You've been terminated, Mike Lindell. You've been terminated by the legal system in Skynet.
Oh, I love the way your brain works. That is a beautiful twist on that. That is a beautiful twist that AI. Oh, I like that so much. That's good. His lawyers have until May 5th to prove why they should not face A, disciplinary proceedings, and B, lose their legal licenses.
Yeah.
How do you not lose your license if this is the kind of shit you're doing?
I mean, dude, if you're a college student and you use AI, you use ChatGPT to write a paper, you're like kicked out of that class or what.
Yeah.
You fail the test, you fail the the essay, whatever. If you're doing this as a lawyer, you should get disbarred, man.
Okay, I don't know why I find this so funny, but the lawyer, one of his lawyers, Christopher Kachuroff, claimed that he personally outlined and wrote the draft before turning it in, which is a lie. But then the next paragraph, it just says, it's shockingly not the first time he's been caught with his pants down. Last year, the same attorney was caught literally without any pants during a break in a Zoom court hearing when he was representing another election denier. So he forgot he was wearing pants. We call a recess, and he gets up and walks off camera. And there he is in his underpants, wearing a suit and tie with a business on it, like the mullet, business up top. But he's pulling. God damn it! Who's the CNN reporter that was it? CNN, the guy
Tubin.
Yeah, Mike Tubin.
I thought it was Jeffrey Tubin. I could be
Jeffrey
wrong.
Tubin. Yeah. Either way, that's what the lawyer's doing.
Yeah, if that
All
gets
right.
hard, then I guess using Chat GPT won't. That dude, that state's legal system, they're just like, yeah, our lawyers do whatever, man. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Oh,
Final.
I don't give a fuck what you called me in the chat. Says get a job, both of you. How dare you? I give me a job then. You're all complaint, no solutions. I don't know what you call me. I don't give a fuck what you call me. Also, I'm not great with acronyms, so stop doing that.
Where is that? Now every fentanyl addict is going to run in for a colonoscopy.
That's the move.
Yeah, you don't get the high though. You don't get the high. You don't like feel the weirdness. You're just out, and then you wake up. You feel refreshed.
Well, but
I don't think drug addicts do things to feel refreshed.
you don't have the tolerance to fentanyl that a Lancaster, PA resident has. You know, if anything, they'll need two of your colonoscopies just to get a buzz.
Todd Rubel, almost all homelessness results from mental illness, of some kind. Yeah, it's true. It is true. Where's the? We should get
Ultra
a
Mitch
job.
said, "Don't get a job. One. Keep trying to be funny." Absolutely, I would never sell out.
No, Ultra is a good one. I don't see the first comment where he told us to fuck off.
Let's see. Rocky Lewis says, "You want a job? Come to Oklahoma. I'll put you to work on my ranch." Well, it's better than being put to work on the corner around here. That's pretty much what I've been resorting to.
Nice. All right. We need to, you know how we have betting pools in life for the Super Bowl and you put, the boxes and the scores. We need that for this next story, the final story of our thing. How long before this guy files a lawsuit against Google and Google Maps? A driver plummeted 40 feet from an unfinished overpass after mistaking navigation directions on Google Maps. Now, everyone, there is video of this, and it's amusing as shit. When you read the story, the dude, Google Maps kept trying to steer him away from the unfinished highway.
Oh, I missed that. I thought
Google Maps said, do not go this direction. But he's like, it tried to get him to turn around. And he's like, no, I don't want to turn around. And then he drove past cement barricades. He literally drove around barricades. And then you see, the video from a camera.
You see much in the video in terms of what's before that. But man,
no, you just because the angle for anybody that has the angle is of the unfinished bridge, and he just drives off.
Yeah, you have that stuff pretty well taped off and barricaded, all of that.
But what was he did? The car drops 40 feet and bounces, but then goes straight. So I bet his airbag went off. I want to know, and this happened in Indonesia. Anybody that wants to Google. So Indonesia, man drives off unfinished. But how long before he sues Google? That's what I want to know. His fault. Google tried to steer him correctly. He drove around cement barricades and drove off the. How long before he still tries to sue Google anyway?
Ultra Mitch says. He says Google Maps is why Sanders fell so far in the draft. Oh, that's good.
Sanders should sue Google Maps.
That's
yes.
Right. That's right. He Chat GPT'd his entire interview responses, and the goddamn Skynet gave.
I bet if he had, then he would be an NFL quarterback right now if he had just stuck to the Chat GPT script.
Yeah, I don't think it's as easy to sue people in Indonesia. I don't think the.
But you're not suing a person. You're suing a multi-billion dollar conglomerate. Some lawyer's going to try and do that.
But I'm going to go out on a limb and say frivolous lawsuits are a tougher thing to pull off in Indonesia than they are here.
I hope so.
Plus, the thing about Google Maps and stuff like that is it remembers everything. Like all of that stuff is written down. All the addresses you do, all the directions, all of that. So all they got to do, even if this guy had like OJ Johnny Cochran money, sitting there in court with Google, who also has that kind of money plus some, they'll pull it up, and be like, yeah, this was the directions.
Yeah, they're going to show Google. I'm going to read the quote right here. Google Maps apparently rerouted the man away from the bridge repeatedly. However, the driver was, quote, left confused by the changing directions, changing as in turn the fuck around, turn around, and drove past a concrete security barrier. When you drive past the security barrier, but you know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of that scene in Philadelphia, where we meet Denzel Washington's character, when he says, "Okay, so let me get this right. You're walking across the street, and you see on the other side of the street barricades, and so you decide to walk across the street. You go under the barricades, and you fall down the hole and hurt yourself. Is that what you're telling me?" And the guy goes, "Yeah. Do I have a case?" And Denzel says, "Of course you do." Like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's the whole point. He walks him through. You walked across the street into construction under a barricade and fell, and you want to sue. Yes, you can sue. Now that's America. That's not Indonesia. So fingers crossed.
Right, but I'm just saying they'll be able to have an IT nerd show up.
Oh, yeah.
Take the witness stand, and the defense lawyers are going to ask at any point, did that British female voice come on that guy's radio and go, "Now turn right and drive off the fucking road. Drive around the barricades. Ignore those. Those barricades are lies. That's how you get where you're going, is to drive through that yellow taped off thing. Just drive right through it."
Yep. Genius has its limitations. Stupidity is boundless. That is true. All right. I have been forgetting to do this since we have just been taking the live cast and turning it into the podcast. So I will remember this time and hopefully going forward that as we finish, if you want to learn more about either of us, my name is Nathan Timmel. I can be found at nathantimmel.com. My website has everything on it. T-shirt store with over 70 designs, linked to Amazon where I have books that I've written, and right here on YouTube, the 1 hour comedy special. Jake can be found at Jake Vevera, Vevera, on all social media platforms. He has his own 1 hour comedy special right here on YouTube. And as I say right here on YouTube, I realize I'm going to yank the audio and put it on Spotify. So anybody listening on Spotify, go look at YouTube. But that's what we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in.
Buy dog pills. Go look it up. Watch it right after this. Give me a like. Give me a comment. Love you guys.
Yes. Thanks for being part of the chat, everyone. And we will talk to you next week.
I'm Kanye West, cousin, and I approve this message. Damn it, I stuttered. That guy.